Sit down, Mourinho! Sit down, Mourinho! Sit down, Mourinho! Sit down, Mourinho! Get in there! Welcome to United Real Therapy, people. How we're doing? Team 10 up today. Team 10 up today. Second half performance. One of the best I've seen this season, by far. And I like that Ollie's tactic, because Ollie understood and knew that Jose... Remember, we used to be what Tottenham fans are now. When we score, we all run back and sit back. And United pressed in the second half, went up the pitch. Paul Pogba, eat your heart out today, man. Cavani, where have you been? The guy that was playing the last couple of games on the imposter. Today, Cavani turned up, right? I'm telling you, today, I can see when United play to their potential, where this team can go. Today, I thought we could see that. Mundo, Irfan, welcome. Talk to me about it. Talk to me, Mundo. How was it for you?
What I will say is this. The history books will say 3-1. In my mind, we won 4-1. We were robbed. And that sense of injustice spurred our team on. But I did say in the preview that Tottenham cannot defend. They can't defend. They're horrendous. So I was confident going into this game today that we would be. I knew if they concede 27 shots to Joe Ellington and Dwight Gale, what do you think our boys are going to do against that defense? But it's like in the first 30 minutes of the game, we didn't believe, and then Pogba and Cavani, the goal that is a goal in my mind, and we'll probably get into that as we go on. But once they put that little bit of football together and scored, that was the first bit of quality that we showed in the game. Second half, they were just doing it for fun, and I have no sympathy for Spurs fans. Zero. You get what you deserve, and I'm not one for trashing other fans, but Spurs fans are the most arrogant fans. The way they talk is like they've won league titles and they're a big team. They need to sit down. You got sat down today. You wanted rid of Poch. You reap what you sow. You get Mourinho. You didn't learn. Your chairman is like, he's either deaf, dumb or blind, because if he didn't watch Mourinho 3 or 4 years prior to him going to Tottenham, and he thought it was a good idea to get this guy. I mean, I'm venting now because I'm still wounded from when he was our manager. I'm still wounded, but I'm not going to go into the Mourinho thing too much. Over that, even though he said that was not the result they deserved, they did deserve that result. They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. And going back about the Pogba red card, Son, I've got to give it to Ollie. You know what? I normally go in on Ollie, especially press conferences. He never shows the cojones. But today, when he said that if that was my son, he wouldn't be getting his dinner. That was a finishing line and a half. It's like Mourinho hurt us so badly that even our manager, who's normally passive, was putting the boot in as well.
Yo, he wasn't passive today. Let me give to you that.
He wasn't passive today.
In the second half, going like this, he's telling the players to move up the pitch. He's literally telling them to move and squeeze the play. Second half. Irfan, come on, talk to me.
I mean, there's so much to talk about in this game, because when I actually remember, I texted you earlier in the day and I said, listen, I WhatsApped you and said, look at the team, yeah, and we had Pogba much more forward than where Bruno was. We had him closer. So I said to you guys, I said, even Mundo said, look, this could be positive. We could be creative. And people keep saying we had a terrible first half, but we didn't have a bad first half. And the thing I saw, no, I don't think it was.
The first half an hour.
No, Nuruddin, because remember, we're playing people who don't play with each other very often. So
welcome, Rachel. Welcome. We can see you. Yeah, people have been asking, like, where's Rachel? Who's this voice? Welcome, Rachel. We're celebrating. We've just been singing "Sit Down, Mourinho." But go ahead, man.
So basically, so what I was saying is, I thought, I looked at it and I said to Mundo, we could be quite creative today. And I'm obviously excited when I see Pogba closer to Bruno or closer to strikers. I'm excited, because that's where he should play. He should never play anywhere else. He plays way too deep. So even people said he had a bad first half, and Gary Neville was pissing me off because he's saying, "Oh, we're rubbish. We've got no speed up front. It's not going to work for us. It's all going to be too slow." And it's like, no, it's not about speed. It's about quality of ball. The game is about ball quality, right? And to be honest with you, I was watching the pass in the first half. I thought, wow, look at us. We actually look like we're going to be able to do things today. So, scoring that the way, listen, it showed a lot of character to go behind a dirty goal like that, yeah. And then they score. That was a lot of character. And, we've proved that, we've got the character because we keep going back. But the second half, I've got to give the boys Ollie credit because they showed a lot of resolve to come back and slap them the way they did. That was a proper slapping. And like I said, I haven't enjoyed watching a game for United. I can't remember how long ago with Ollie's team, probably when he took over and we had that run of 10 games. Where this is how excited I was today. Obviously because it was Mourinho. Because, look, they're not a terrible team, but he's making them play terrible football. They've got a great team. There's no denying that. I mean, look out, this between the two sides, there wasn't really that much, but we showed drive, intelligence, really, really clever play. We were opening them up. We liked a bit of quality, but when it came. So it was resolve, and the fact that Pogba, my God, Pogba today, wow, that's a world-class player in action. The way he was doing that, and I kept saying to myself, in the last, around the box, let him play there. Stick him there all the time. Don't let him do the dog work. Just leave him there. And look what he can do. It's not about speed. It's about footballing brain. And no one's got footballing brain like this guy. I mean, that back heel, he almost scored the back heel. I was just so glad that, that the players really played properly. And the passing was beautiful. The movement was great. And even Greenwood's cameo at the end, the cross was beautiful. Cavani's got the brain. He knows where to be. So I knew that we just clicked today and we look like a proper football team. And we haven't looked like a proper football team for a long time. I don't care if we're winning or not. But today we look like a proper football team. And I'm hoping all the Man United fans, forget the Mourinho bitterness and all that kind of crap. He's a has-been, so leave this guy alone. We just need to go forward. And I hope he plays this team more often. That's what I have to say.
I disagree with you on the first 25 minutes. I thought we gave them too much respect. I thought we were giving the ball away at times. I thought we were not connecting. The rhythm wasn't there. Rachel, come on.
You don't play together. That's why.
Rachel's turn now. Rachel, come on, talk to me. What did you think of the game? What did you enjoy about the game today?
I loved our second half performance. I thought it was excellent. And I want to credit Ollie for this because what he did at halftime was very, very smart. Mm-hmm. Because you guys have played FIFA, right? There's a formation.
I don't play, but they've played.
I have a few times.
There's a formation on FIFA, right, where it's a 4-4-2, but the two players that are supposed to be like right and left midfielders are actually quite narrow behind the striker, and then you have like two DMs. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a box.
No, I've not seen.
Yeah. It's like a 4-2-2-2 kind of formation.
Yeah, that formation.
Yeah.
That's what we played today in the second half, and we did it because whenever we got the ball into McFred, basically what ended up happening was the ball wasn't progressing up the pitch quick enough. It wasn't good enough. But having Bruno and Pogba and having our fullbacks actually push up the pitch and actually play with Bruno and Pogba was fantastic. And whenever Bruno shifted to the right side, Pogba was the 10. Whenever Pogba went to the left side, Bruno was the 10. 100%. Like, it was fluid.
Yeah,
and that's what we need to see more of.
Yeah, and this is where our fans' point comes in when we're talking about Gary Neville, because Gary Neville in the commentary was saying, Rachel, we don't have the speed, man. It's like, no, we want quality. Who would you rather have on the ball, Dan James or Paul Pogba? Paul Pogba on the left-hand side, left inside channel. You want him there on that ball, left inside channel. We don't need a speed merchant. You need to pick people up. But go on, Rachel.
You need intelligent movement. That's what it is.
Speed merchants do nothing for us anyway. What did they do? Speed. Who cares about speed? It's about what you do with the ball.
Go on, Rachel. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it was intelligent movement that did it today.
But what I loved about it today as well was the connection between Bruno and Pogba, especially in the second half. The way they kept finding each other. And I thought in that last 15 minutes when we needed to take the sting out of the game, I thought some of Pogba's control, trickery, skill, the way he was bringing the ball down. You know what? I was watching that game. I was watching him warm up. He had a different facial expression today. Trust me. Because obviously he gave the ball away. If anybody recorded that game and watched the build-up, there's a bit where Man United are just doing basic shooting. And I always think, what is the basic? It's basically you play the ball into Michael Carrick lays off. Another player touches it, and then you shoot. but the facial expression he had was like angry. He had that angry look on his face. I thought some of his play was brilliant today. I've got to give it. If you any of you follow me on Twitter, any of you guys in the audience, I said, Fred. I said, get Pastor Fred off because he's playing against us. 2 seconds later, he scored.
You know what? He wasn't very good today. He McTominay was very good today, but he got the goal, so we take
exactly
those.
the timing. Honestly, before that, I counted. You know, I'm usually defending him. A lot of people know I'm usually defending him, and I overpraise him because I never thought he got the proper running when he was there and Jose bought him. You know what I mean? You could tell he was never a Jose Mourinho player. The club bought him, shall I say that? And Jose gave him 1 or 2 games, then sat on the bench. Every other 10 games, maybe 1 game. But Ollie gave him 7 or 8 because we had injuries. He gave him 8, and then he became a vital part of our team. I thought when he scored, he improved because his energy was all there. But I thought him and McTominay were a bit lucky to stay on the pitch, and I would have liked to see Donny van de Beek come on. Because today, I'm telling you, Mundo, with the space up the pitch, today, Donny would have scored 100% with his movement. Donny would have made an impact in this game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jose Mourinho, we understand who he is. And he came out and said, I can't really talk too much because you will criticize me. He's doing exactly everything. It's like everything he did at Man United, he's doing at Tottenham. And for me, when they scored that goal, I did not panic at all. Obviously, I was going crazy about that first goal. It was a brilliant. I mean, when do you ever get 2 nutmegs? Nutmeg on the setup and a nutmeg in the finish. It's like Pogba's like, I'm going to meg him. And then Cavani's like, actually, I'm going to meg the keeper as well. I mean, if that is a foul, I'm telling you, football is done. It's over. I kept watching. Every time they'd replay that first goal, I kept watching the referee. No way in the world did the referee look back again. If you've never played football, it's called you're pushing off. You use your arms to push off. Some people like to get their arm and shoulder, their elbow, and the rest of their arm across you. And if you play football, that's heavy. If you ever boxed or anything, that's weight. Somebody else's weight. What you need to do is push off. That's why you do that. I mean, I don't know how many of you in the audience, in the chat, have ever seen Gascoigne play. Gascoigne will be getting red cards everywhere. There'll be free kicks every time.
He was all arms, wasn't he, Gascoigne?
Wouldn't it have been a foul in the first place from Son onto McTominay because he grabbed McTominay? So shouldn't it have been a free kick to us then?
Yeah, but he cheated, remember, because he acted like he got slapped in the face. And remember, here's the thing that really annoyed me is the fact that the referee is now going to slow it down and see at a slow speed, which is not the natural way to look at that incident. So he was bound to give it in a way. It's crazy. That guy's got form. I do not respect that referee at all. I don't. I've seen him do a few crazy things, but
I thought he bottled it. I thought
he bottled it.
It was a big decision. He knows that Mourinho is going to come out and go crazy, and he bottled it. He absolutely bottled it because for me, that was a brilliant, and it showed everything we said about Pogba. Pogba ain't no playing in the 2. Pogba at times in some games has to play up the pitch. He has to play up the pitch.
Every game.
No. Sometimes Scott McTominay and Fred are not good enough to transition from defense to midfield to the forwards.
But I would have Van de Beek playing more often.
I was going to say the same.
At this moment in time, Van de Beek
not with the players we have. We can't do
exactly. Van de Beek's not doing it at this moment in time. He's not doing it. But I thought McTominay had a decent game today. I'm not going to lie. I thought he had a decent game.
I don't think they were as bad as they normally are.
In terms of energy, I know that he could have got sent off. But one thing I just thought that he didn't hide today. There was no hiding. I think this game meant a lot to the players today. I could see that. And Rachel, I know you want to talk about it, but Maguire, I agree. Maguire has become more aggressive. That's the biggest thing. Before he was very passive, very kind of docile at times. But I thought him and even Lindelof, even though he made the mistake, Lindelof, I didn't think he let it affect him. I got to be fair and balanced here. I don't think he let it affect him. And he was even screaming. There was times when I'm hearing him, Wan-Bissaka, give the ball quickly. But I thought Wan-Bissaka played fantastic second half. I thought he really stretched the pitch. And exactly what you said, Rachel, where he was connecting with Pogba or Bruno on that side, and whether it's Martial or Greenwood when Greenwood come on. But last, Rachel, tell me about that ball. Tell me about that ball from Greenwood.
What a delivery.
It was beautiful. And the movement from Cavani as well. Like, it takes two to make those kind of goals happen. And Greenwood's ball and Cavani's movement and obviously finish was great. I mean, this is what I speak about when I compare Martial and Cavani. This right here, you don't see that movement from Martial in the box. You don't. And this is why I say we say we need a striker, or Martial needs to add that to his game. If he adds that to his game, I don't think he will add it to his game. But if he did, he'd be a great striker for us. That's just the problem that's just the difference between Martial and Cavani, unfortunately. But Martial's better in the build-up, but in terms of in the box, he doesn't compare to Cavani.
We haven't had a striker like Cavani since Van Nistelrooy in terms of in the box.
Yeah,
that
we haven't.
Wherever the ball lands, they're there. It's just like the telepathic.
RVP was good for us in that season.
But RVP scores all kinds of goals. I mean, the thing is, to be honest with you, how many strikers out there, young or old, that can do what Cavani does? Really, how many? I don't really know many that could do that job. I just don't need. I think those kind of things are almost a rare breed these days, because football's become more about the false nine and attacking. Like the way City playing and Barcelona used to play. It's not because the centre forward is not really there so much anymore, apart from Haaland. I don't know of any others.
They expected to do more as a striker now.
Danny Ings is actually that kind of striker.
Yeah, Danny Ings.
I know I don't want it. Yeah, that's. I mean, I know a lot of Man United fans don't want him, but if you've got Greenwood learning, and he is learning because he's learned about Cavani's movements, and that's why that ball went into the box the way it did. If you've got Greenwood learning, he's 19, 20, you bring in Danny Ings because Cavani wants to leave, then there's no problem there, as long as we get the right creative players on the other side of the pitch. So, we get a right winger, we get defensive midfielder, we get Danny Ings for now. I don't see why we can't have a decent summer. That's the thing. We can have a decent summer if these idiots in charge let us have a decent summer. Like Danny Ings, a central defensive midfielder and a right winger, and we'll be in a really good place. But
I'm going to tell you the right winger.
Not allowed. It's just not allowed. Apparently, we're not allowed to be happy.
I'm going to tell you the right winger. He plays for Wolves. Neto. Oh my gosh, he's the right, perfect age for Man United.
Is it Neto or Neves?
Neto.
Neto is the midfielder. He's a good midfielder.
Oh yeah.
Neto is he. Every time I've ever watched him for Wolverhampton, every game, even the quietest games, he'll do 2 or 3 things that will affect the game. Guaranteed. He'll do 2 or 3 things that will affect the game. To me, he's out there. Unfortunately, we've got Bristol University investment bankers. If
only you were sporting director, Avon United.
JB Morgan.
JB again.
Honestly, that's who's in charge of our club. I'm afraid to say, guys, Man United is run like a bank. That's what Man United are. Man United are not. And going back to what you were saying, Rachel, about Greenwood and Cavani, Rio Ferdinand spent some time. I think he was one of the games where we played at home. Was it the Brighton game or one of the games? He stayed behind. I think it was a game that was on BT and it was at Old Trafford. At the end of the game, or when the game was going on, I think where they were sitting, Darren Fletcher came close and he asked him a couple of questions about what's going on in the squad. And he said that Cavani's took Greenwood under his wings and Greenwood is learning from Cavani. Obviously, at the end of in his pre-game press conference after the game, Ollie said the reason Cavani, he knows that he wants Cavani to stay. I mean, if this Cavani that turned up today, I guarantee, the first ever time we were buying Cavani, I was going crazy because he was on the last day, a guy that was available. For 6 months, he was available. He was on the bench. I didn't even think he was. I thought, is he in Latin America? Because every time I look across the bench, he wasn't even on the bench for Paris Saint-Germain, and it was lastminute.com. I said the biggest thing I worried about was injuries. I said it was a last-minute rush, and it was injuries. So if Cavani can stay fit, but Ollie, I think, came and explained a little bit what I've been talking to Irfan, and I've said it on this channel as well, that I think the lockdown is affecting players. And Ollie explained, lockdown, player by himself without his family, he can't speak English, he's got a quarantine, because that's what they're doing. These players have to have their bubble, and they quarantine with those bubbles because they're tested every couple of days. And that's why he's struggling, so he's missing his family. And because of the lockdown has made it extremely difficult. He will be interacting all of the Latin American players from Everton, Liverpool, City, you know what I mean? All those players, like maybe going to London on a day off. Do you know what I mean? Go and enjoy, going cinema, restaurant, doing all of those things, having a party at home. All of the things that elite level sports men and women need, and non-binary people out there, shout out to non-binary people, need, right, to be able to get away from the pressures of top level sport, right? They need to get away from it. They need to be able to get away from football and just to relax and then come back and recharge. And Cavani's not doing that anymore. So Cavani is, and Manchester's not Paris. Let's not get a complaint, right? All right, Manchester. I love Manchester.
Definitely not.
I love Manchester, but it's not Paris, right? And it's not the suburbs of Paris. And you can just a couple of hours, then you can go to south of France, enjoy the lovely weather. Well, let me just finish this point. Let me just finish this point. Do we now, I'll ask you the questions, okay? Do you think we should keep Cavani? I think if we keep Cavani, we could definitely need another forward still. Because I don't trust his injury record. And the only thing that puts me off what you were talking about, the Southampton striker, is that his injury record. His injury record is not. And I'm sick of seeing players who are injury prone come to Man United. Somebody was talking, who they're talking about today? They're talking about Gucci Mane, who plays for Newcastle. He stabilized him. You know what I mean? So
maximum. Yeah, I don't want that.
Gucci Mane. Gucci, that's what I see it is. Gucci Mane. Gucci banded, man. That's what it is, right? Gucci banded. They're saying Man United should go sign. I'm like, no, we need to stay away from him. That guy is like a broken glass. Every other game he's injured. So I'm coming to you first.
He's a great player, though. He's a good player.
The option, that 1 year option, so that Cavani, hopefully, more settled Cavani, could be able to play and at least pass on the knowledge. Should we take that 1 year extension on him so he can pass on knowledge even when he's injured with Greenwood and Martial and these guys? Or do you think we should let him go and retire, go back to Boca Juniors? You know, I mean, you're talking to Argentina to play for Boca Juniors. What do you think we should do?
I think we've got to keep him because I think, like I said, Greenwood's a couple of years away, in my opinion, from being like even close to him. So we got to keep him for another year. I mean, like I said, it's a difficult one because we just don't have a striker. There's not one striker in the team really close to him. I mean, like I said, the goals he scored today. I mean, I'm so glad that Greenwood set him up, and so there was a bond on the field because set each other up. So hopefully it will make Greenwood grow a little bit more. But Greenwood hasn't got what Cavani's got. But then again, look, the gap in experience is huge. So it's a really difficult one for United. United have to get this one right. But I just don't know what they're going to do, to tell you the truth, if he goes. I mean, the other thing you've got is French culture is a lot closer to Latin American culture than the Mancunian culture is. So, I do get why if he is feeling homesick, he wants to leave. Of course you get that,
Yeah, lockdown as well, during lockdown. He can't even go to the cinema. He can't go and see a live gig. He can't go to Ben Brazil. You know what I mean? We know the restaurants where a lot of these footballers go. We know Wimslow, you know what I mean? We know the area.
All the tapas bars and places like that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He won't be able to go. Rachel.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think we should take the 1 year option on Cavani and hope that even if he's injury prone, that at least he passes on knowledge to Greenwood and Martial and Rashford?
You know what? It's kind of difficult because we don't really know what the priority is for the board. Like, it's come out that we're looking for a striker or a centre back or whatever. So if we buy a forward, we can't keep Cavani because the wages are so high on him, and that means that we're not going to be able to invest in other areas of the pitch. So I'm cool with him leaving if we can bring someone else in as a striker, but it has to be a good striker or like someone who's actually plays as a number 9, a proper number 9. I can't deal with. I don't want a false 9. I don't want anything like that. I just want to play a goal scorer if we're going to get.
Are you telling me you don't want an inverted winger as a striker?
No. We have enough of the inverted wingers thing. No, none of that. I want a creative winger. I want a proper number 9. I want a proper CDM, and I want a centre back that complements Maguire. You get those things in the next couple of seasons because it's not going to be in one summer. Then
we're asking for 3 players basically. It's 3 players. It's 4 players.
It's four. Yeah, but if we've got 2 or 3 of them, then fair enough.
Budget. What are you going to get for £100 million budget with 4
Let me tell you, we're already in debt. We are already in debt. That's the craziest thing. Man United are not going to get an opportunity to literally be almost catch up because of the pandemic to Liverpool and City. 4 players Manchester United signed. I think we could get them just under 200 million. I personally believe 200 million will do it, right? I think we could sign those 4 players. Man United, and we are already in debt. Just borrow just 200 million. And I'm telling you, the shirt sales will go through the roof. The shirt sale, the merch that this club can sell will go through the roof because the fans then will believe. Mundo, you've already spotted a striker that potentially. I personally actually like Ollie Watkins. I really do.
You like Ollie Watkins.
I really like Ollie Watkins.
Martinez.
If it was me, I would keep Cavani, and I would go someone like left field, like Patson Daka or
Patson Daka.
Salzburg. I just think he's got a lot in his locker, and he's 17 million pounds. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But it's not that much of a gamble. But the potential is like Haaland went for 18.25 million to Dortmund. So don't get fooled by the price tag. He's stepped into Haaland's shoes, and he's banging in the goals.
And you know what I like about him? He actually sometimes makes his own goals. He collects the ball and dribble, bang. Yeah,
I think that's too. I think it's not that big a gamble. And if you keep Cavani for a season while he settles in, you're not relying on him too much. And if Cavani's injured, then at least you've got a backup striker until he settles. Rather than, because let's be realistic, we're not going to buy Haaland or Kane at 150, 180 million. No. So we have to be creative. So
if you ask me now, what are the two crucial part that gives the team the balance? I will say to you, a quick centre half, left-sided centre half.
Oh, that's number one.
And a CDM, because I'm just sick of McFred. I want somebody who can pass that ball through the channels. I want somebody who can quickly, because the style that Man United want to play, how we perfect that the fluidity in that pattern is to get somebody who can pick that ball up and just first time to get through the channels. I want to say today, I definitely give Ollie a lot because he understood that what Jose was doing. And just going back to you, Irfan, do you miss Jose? Because, oh my God, go 1-0 up and that tactics. I'll tell you the games. I remember Leicester. I remember against Arsenal. I was like, oh my God. Just going 1-0 up and defending for Al. I'm like, why? Well, we can go and murder these teams. And Spurs, oh my gosh. If their fans were not in that stadium today, they would have been ripping seats. I'm telling you, they would have been ripping seats. I don't know what they did other than, actually, Henderson made one good save. One good save against Kane. Apart from that, in the second half, what else did they do? Actually, we could have given them a goal. Pogba headed the ball, right, looped off his head, and then Cavani hit the post for them.
And then with the Aurier one as well. I think Aurier had a chance as well.
Yeah, that was offside. That was offside. Yeah, where he was offside. He was yards offside. But other than that, I didn't see what else they created.
But shout out to Henderson though. I mean, he was good off his line. He was commanding.
Yeah. The
defense seemed really, other than Lindelof's brain fart, the defense seemed quite calm with him in goal.
I think somebody was having a go on Twitter at Wan-Bissaka, but I think that the way when Man United on the ball, Ollie, there's a tactic where, especially when you play with Fred and McTominay, to cover Wan-Bissaka and Shaw on either side. And on the photo, it looks like Son was free, but you can't be asking. It's unhuman to ask Wan-Bissaka to go up and then run back into position all of the time.
And you don't expect your centre back to make a fluff. No, that's not. No, Lindelof.
I talk about positioning. At first, I thought it was Wan-Bissaka's fault, but I saw the image actually that was posted on Twitter, and it started with Fred because Fred vacated his position to try and get the ball, and that mean our whole team shifted. So he had to try and close down Kane. Rashford was at fault for it. Rashford was, if you look at the start of it, Rashford and Son were right next to each other. He didn't track him back. So Rashford was at fault for that part of it, and then Lindelof was at fault for whatever he was trying to do for the ball. And then Fred
Did you notice that? I noticed in the first 30 minutes that our wide players were not tracking back. So Shaw kept
Always
getting
happens.
caught out.
Always
It was the
happens.
2-on-1. They kept making runs in the inside channel behind Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka the same, because
That's a
Rashford,
tactical issue, though. That's a tactical. That's almost a cheat mode, isn't it? It's that cheat
Yeah.
mode where they want, soon as Man United get the ball, Rashford is off. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's kind of the risk. It's the aspect of the risk.
Yeah, but you know what it is?
Well,
It's
Tottenham do it as
more.
well. Actually, if you've seen it in the second half, Son wasn't tracking Wan-Bissaka. Son was almost near the halfway line. 20 yards in from the halfway line, and it was 2 against 1 on that side. And even the commentator was commenting on it. I was like, yeah, because that's what they believe, is to believe that when you win the ball back, Kane will get hold of that ball. Son's already gone. He's already gone. Rashford is already gone. But we weren't connecting. The only thing I would say about the second half and the substitutions is that I just wish that he bought Rashford off early. I think if Greenwood was on the pitch a lot more, I think we could have damaged them more. Because you could see for about 15 minutes, Rashford was just walking around. He wasn't really playing. He was just walking around. You can tell he's in too much pain. He actually, there's one where he motioned towards the ball, ran, and he pulled up.
Yeah, he pulled up, yeah.
He pulled up and then, yeah. I mean, where does this get us from here? Why do you think we're inconsistent? I'm going to ask this to Rachel. Why do you think today we look like we turned up, we entertained, we played well? How come sometimes when we come against the games pedantic, we take ages to pass the ball? What was it? Is it because obviously it was to exercise those demons and to get revenge on Tottenham and Mourinho? And obviously Irfan sent the photo, and I put it on a thumbnail on this video. Is that where Solskjaer's there going crazy with Shaw and Mourinho's right there? Right there. If you ever needed a photo, it was a bit surreal in that photo. But how do you explain how sometimes we can look this good for about an hour, we reckon, second half especially? I thought we lost our heads in the last 10, 15 minutes after the injustice, after that goal, and we were lucky not to go, 10 men, because some players were doing some madness, just rush challenges. But how do you explain that?
I've said it before, like, it's our players, mentally they're not good enough, and the balance in the team isn't good enough. Because we've seen halves, like, remember the first half against Everton in the 3-3? We were excellent in that half. We played well against Manchester City in the second half as well. I think we've had halves where we've played quite well, like the second half against Burnley when Pogba was excellent as well after having a horrible first half. We do have it in us to play well, but the problem is that they're just not consistent. Like, sometimes last week Pogba had a nightmare game against Brighton. He was absolutely abysmal. And then this week he's the best player on the pitch. Lindelof had was it a good game against Granada? Not Granada. Was it Brighton? He had a very, very good game. And then he'll probably have a bad game at some point. Too many of our players they're too extreme. They're either 2 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. Sometimes you need 7s. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's why I want players like Declan Rice. I haven't yet to see Declan Rice have a terrible game. He's always at least a 7.
So
we need consistency.
I'm an older generation. We need 11 Dennis Irwins. I only ever seen Dennis Irwin make one mistake, and I was watching it since I was like 1990, right? United. I've been watching United since 1990. I've seen him make one mistake, and it was a pass back to Schmeichel, striker and a forward, intercepted it, went around Schmeichel and scored. That's the only time. Dennis Irwin, for me,
and his free kicks were amazing as well. His free
kicks and penalties.
Right-footed left back.
If he was playing right back, he'd be probably one of the best right backs in history as well. Like, the best right back in history.
That's what I'm saying to you. And chopping back free kicks, penalties, setting up, driving at people, even giving it a little dropping shoulder on him. But please, Irfan, talk to me about Greenwood. What he did to Reguilon. Reguilon got he got sent to the shops, but he had to buy the clothes, the washing up liquid, and the fruit and veg. You know what I mean? He did a full shopping. It took him out for the whole day. He literally went like that, dropped those, the Ronaldos, that's what I call them, the Brazilian Ronaldos. Reguilon was about to fall over like a pensioner. Literally, if you watch that goal again, he's almost about to fall over. He gets bamboozled. And the way he did that shot, oh my gosh, I was so happy he scored. I was so happy. But talk to me.
But, you see, see what it is we're getting the Greenwood back. That confidence had gone. You know, he looked like he didn't look like the same player. You know, especially the start of the season. So in the last 4 or 5 games, we've noticed him getting better and better. And this was the best again, even in a short period. You can see his confidence is there. You know, he wasn't just running down blind alleys. He wasn't in the wrong place. This was perfect. I was only on for 20 minutes. So how long? He wasn't on for long, was he? 20 minutes. And like I said, this game was set up for him as well, because we were firing, and he comes on. He sees a confident team. And he all just flowed. I mean, the assist was amazing, and then dropping the shoulder. That was the Greenwood that we saw, when he was scoring last season. He was, and like I said, it's confidence. It's just confidence with this kid. He needs to run a game and get confidence, and he'll score more. I think he's going to score more for the next 5-6 games. I think he's going to score more. He's definitely one of our on-form players at the moment. Like I said, I'm just happy for the team because, like I said, I can't pick out anyone who had a really terrible game for a change. Okay, some weren't as good as others, but no one was terrible. So that's why I'm sort of happy at the moment. That's why I'm going to freeze match of the day and watch it again,
Yeah, you're muted, I think.
You're muted, Nuruddin. You're muted. Yeah.
Mundo, talk to me. What do you think of the potential of Greenwood? Obviously, he's had his... By the way, the olive juice is back. Those of you who know from United Central, olive juice is in full swing tonight. You can even see it, people. It's in full swing tonight. Cheers, Ollie. Cheers to players. Burying Mourinho tonight.
He gave Reguilon. He twisted his blood, man. He twisted his blood, and Reguilon was looking around for his interpreter, like, what? I don't understand, man. Tell me what's going on here. Someone interpret this. The guy's going left. He's going right.
Can I get a subtitle with that? Did you need a subtitle with that? Where's that remote?
I need some subtitles. But the thing is, Greenwood's potential is phenomenal, because the thing is he's got that thing that you can't teach, that clinical edge, like as good a player Rashford is, as good a player, Martial is, he's just got that X factor, that thing that you can't teach.
Yeah, but because he shoots mid motion as well. He shoots a little bit.
He can go either way, and he scores from some crazy angles as well. And it's the power he gets in his shots. Like, quite a few of his goals, you look and think maybe the keeper should have done better. But when you have a second look, you think actually he's hit it with such force. And he's still growing into himself and everything else. So
his shooting reminds me of Rivaldo. He reminds me of Rivaldo. The way he hits the ball, the way he hits it.
Yeah, just that raw power. Like, there's no subtlety. It's like bang, proper sharpshooter, and he always aims for corners. And it's just exciting because he's this good already, and there's so much more he can do to improve. Like, his heading ability, maybe he can get a little bit cuter sometimes, his movement, all of that to come. We've got one hell of a player. I think sometimes it can be predictable with the step overs and coming in and shooting, try to find that near post, because that's that's the post that he likes. He doesn't like to go outside. He likes to just get into the near post. But I think if he gets that unpredictability out of his game, but definitely I watched the interview with him last week, and he said that he's definitely working on the heading. Heading is what part of his game that needs to drastically improve. He's going to play number 9, but I actually think he doesn't need to be a number 9 at Man United. I don't think we can put in the pressure. I've seen him in the youth team because I watch the youth team a lot. I've seen him play as a number 10. I've seen him play behind the striker as a number 10, and I think he's got all the capabilities. I think within the next year and a half, he's going to bulk out. I think. Obviously, playing big man football is getting into him, and I definitely think that the bumps and the knocks that he will get in training, even in training, he'll know his football IQ in terms of getting into position, protecting the ball. Well, he's one of the fastest. That's the thing about it. It's really because the way he runs, because he's bow-legged. Obviously, those of you who don't know, Google it if you know what bow-legged means. It's just that the legs more inwards than anything else.
Garrincha style.
Yeah, Corinja. Oh, tell people about Corinja. Most of you don't know Corinja. In Brazil, when I went to Brazil, I asked. So my friend was interpreting between me and his uncle. Shout out Felipe in Brazil, man. Out there in Recife, one of the roughest favelas in Rio. The city of God. This is the favela city of God filmed in the story. And I said to him, who's the best Brazilian player? Pele, and he said Corinthians. He said Corinthians was incredible. So those of you, if you really want to find out about footballers, one of the mavericks, one of the all-time great mavericks of football, go and research. There's amazing footage and documentaries about Garincha, and it's one of the most tragic stories of football. How he died.
One leg longer than the other as well. Do you know that?
Yeah. I think he had polio as a child. I think he had polio.
I've got polio. Yeah, I've got polio. I've got one leg longer than the other. That's why I've had 4 knee surgeries. Because I survived. Actually. My leg's not as mangled as his leg was. But my leg.
Imagine being that good a football player.
Yeah.
Having gone through that. Like and remember he carried Brazil in I think it was 1962.
Yeah,
and Pele didn't. Yeah, Pele was injured. And Pele was injured for most of the tournament, and Garincha carried them. And a lot of people don't know that they actually gave Pele a lot of credit for that World Cup, but Garincha carried them. A lot of the players did, and
it was a crazy dribbler. The way he used to dribble with the ball,
unreal.
Talk about he was the original inventor of what's known as the chop back. He would chop people in, out.
Yeah, great.
Honestly, next levels of player. But what do you think about Greenwood's potential, Rachel?
You know what? I think he's actually shown a lot of the improvements that you guys spoke about earlier already. I think he's showing a lot of progression. As you guys said, he was quite predictable last season. He cut in and shoot. Players weren't respecting his shooting technique. And then this season they started to close him down a lot quicker. But he's actually being more smart on the ball. He's actually adapting his play. And he's actually doing a lot better on the wings. Like he's getting to the byline and balls into the box. So he is improving. So that's great for us because if he adds those dimensions to his game, then he's less predictable. And he's only 19, 20. Like I think he's going to be a very, very good player. His finishing is ridiculous for his age. Yeah. Ridiculous. I just can't believe what I see. When I see him shoot, I'm just like, should I even be surprised anymore? I remember watching him in the youth team. His finishing was always fantastic. I saw him score free kicks with both his left feet and his right foot.
Yeah.
So let's not. I don't know why I'm surprised, but every time I see him just do it over and over again, I'm just like, wow, he's a fantastic young player.
Yeah, I saw him against Liverpool. Liverpool reserve, the youth team against Man United youth team. He scored a hat trick. He took a penalty with his right foot, free kick with his right foot, and then he smashed one on his left foot. That just shows it. To me, if he improves his heading, and what I like about him is that he can receive the ball on back to goal, even in the youth team. And with that left foot, what that does then, it's like in the actual does it. If you watch Leicester, left-footed players who can come and drop in that hole, if they can turn from right to left, it opens the whole pitch up. They can just ping the ball. They can ping that ball. But his ball today for Cavani, oh my God.
It was beautiful.
That ball. I mean, going back to what Mundo was saying, I think Andy Cole was underrated. Andy Cole would make those movements as well, in between the strikers. Andy Cole, to me, had one of the best turns as a striker in the Premier League history. In terms of when defenders got close to him, come up his back, he could swivel and turn in one movement. But he
wasn't as clinical though.
He would definitely miss chances, definitely. Yeah. But he banged in a lot of goals, to be fair. I think
his movement was great. Yeah.
One thing about Andy Cole is that I have never known a guy to come to Man United to be just a goal anger. He was a goal anger for Newcastle. Yeah. He was all the Beardsley, all the other guys will do everything, and he should just tap it in, right? That's why he's a tapping merchant. He came to United, he learned how to run the channels, how to hold up the ball, how to just do the unselfish bits. It took him time to learn that, but obviously he had the patience. So obviously we got Thursday coming up. Obviously we're getting a massive confidence from this game now to the end of the season. Today was a really interesting day because Leicester dropped points. West Ham, tell me about Jesse Lingard. I put a tweet out there saying every Manchester United fan, if you're a true Man United fan, then you're happy for Jesse Lingard. Yeah. But honestly, he looks like just a totally different player. Totally different player.
Let's swap him for Rice.
Yeah, they reckon the same 30 million on Rice. Would you take that, Rachel? Are you a big fan of Rice?
Yeah, I am a big fan of Rice. He's my first choice signing for the summer over a centre back.
I've got to be fair. Last season, I thought it was all hype. This season, I've seen improvements. Like you said, I've seen improvements. And because I don't watch all the West Ham games, but now I'm more interested because of Jesse. I'm seeing that, he, as for the age that he is, he's a leader. And we definitely need leaders. Yeah, we need more leaders in the team. Guys, there's about 80 of you in here. Please like, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. We cannot build this community without you. Obviously, we're going to talk about post-match. So obviously, today, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was up for it. And I think the injustice of that disallowed goal was a disgrace, honestly. What a disgrace that was. Got his back up. In the press conference, Ole basically said, son, if that was my son, he'll be getting no ding-dings tonight. He'll be getting no dinner. He'll be getting no lunch. He'll be on a naughty step.
No, he said if my son was on the floor rolling around with 10 of his friends stood around him, my son wouldn't be getting any dinner.
So, and then obviously that got obviously then the journalists quoted that with a press conference where they sit down at the end of the game, and Jose Mourinho came back and said, I actually prefer that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not son's father, because if you're a real father, you would defend your son regardless what they do. So obviously shades are throwing right, left, and center. I'm like, listen, both of us are not for the title and nothing, so this ain't no title talk. So I don't know what you're saying, Jose. Just concentrate on keeping your job. That's all you got to do. But what do you think to that, Rachel?
It's just Mourinho. Like, I think he actually made comments about his trophies, and it's just what he is. He's just an egomaniac, isn't he, Jose?
Yeah.
Everything's about him. Throws his players under the bus. Doesn't try to protect them in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't try to just sort of play down the performance and say, maybe I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Just, it's ridiculous. Like, I understand being harsh on your players, but just do it at the right time and do it away from the public eye. Just do it behind closed doors. Have a conversation with your players and be done with it. I'm so tired of seeing people like Jose do this. It's so ridiculous. Just take some of the blame, because it's not just Jose's fault. The players are to blame as well. But it's still, some of it is still his fault. He has to take some of the blame. I don't get it, honestly. Jose is just...
Yeah, he will never take the blame. Listen, when they win, he won a trophy. Not the team, he won a trophy. When they lose, they're not my players. They're not my No,
explain something.
I cannot say it. I'm sorry. You want to get me in trouble? No, you don't want to get me in trouble. I cannot really express how I feel about my players, because I want to keep it to myself. My players tried today. They tried. They did an effort. We played against a very good team, very powerful team. That's why I'm like, Jose, you got slapped, mate. Revenge. Good night, Vienna.
And you know what sums him up, right? This is a man who's got Ndombele and Lo Celso, two absolute ballers. And you know who they've been linked with in the summer?
Tell me.
He wants Fellaini.
No. You're lying. No.
His contract's running out with the Chinese club.
No. Listen, that's funny. Fellaini was on the pitch the other night streaking a Granada. Fellaini's a holiday in Granada. What is he talking about?
Listen, I'm so glad he's out of our club, man. The guy wants to replace. He's got Lo Celso and Ndombele, and he's going after Fellaini. That tells you everything you need to know about this guy.
It's mad. They need an attacking midfielder, is what they need. They haven't got enough creativity in their midfield.
No, they need a manager.
I actually seen.
Well, I know that, but in terms of players, they need another attacking midfielder.
They need another man. But I actually think they've got the French brother. He's an attacking midfielder, really. But No. The other guy, the guy that who's from Newcastle, he came on second half.
Are you having a laugh?
No, Mundo.
He's an attacking midfielder.
Who are we talking about?
Mundo. He runs with the ball. He was the guy that would usually run with the ball for Newcastle. He was the danger guy.
Wait, you talking about Sissoko?
He's got
no.
He's terrible.
Listen to me. Watch Sissoko. Sissoko used to be a wide guy. He used to be a guy who used to attack teams. He was the guy that could get off the ball. But one thing you used to lack with him is that his finishing is horrendous. You watch Sissoko under Pochettino and watch him with Jose. Jose, he looks like just a guy who's like a makeshift right back or left back or sometimes centre half. But with all of the times he would get into brilliant positions, but his finishing was always horrendous. But carrying the ball, his ability to carry the ball and run with the ball, it's brilliant. Honestly, brilliant. And watch when he played for France, the couple of appearances he made for France, watch where he played him. France never played him as a defensive midfielder or a makeshift right back or left back. They played him as an attacking winger or forward, as an attacking midfield player. They've never played him like that. It's just the managers and those who's turned him into this. Mkhitaryan at times at Man United was not an attacking. Mkhitaryan will sometimes feel as sometimes we play 6 or 7 at the back. Mkhitaryan will be like another guy who will be defending out wide. Do you not remember that?
Listen, you can't blame Jose for this guy, even if under Pochettino,
No,
even Newcastle.
Listen,
You can't shoot. You can't shoot.
You know what it is at the moment? It's there are too many midfielders now who are only good at one thing. I am so tired of seeing midfielders that can carry the ball but can't pass, that doesn't move well, that doesn't read the game well. I am so sick of it. You're a midfielder. You should be able to pass the ball. You should be able to carry the ball, and you should be able to read the game. That is basic. And there are too many midfielders now that can only do one of those things. I am sick of it. Sissoko can run with the ball. He doesn't look like he's fully in control of the ball as well, by the way. And then his end product is a joke. So you're telling me he runs with the ball only to lose it? All he's doing is wasting his energy.
No, for what I'm saying, I've seen him have a lot of better games with Pochettino than with Mourinho, 100%. 100%. I agree. Sometimes he can look headless, but I think Tottenham have not had a really top midfielder since Musa left.
Ndombele is a quality. He's just got the news right, but he's quality. He's Sissoko with end product. That's what he is.
He was I kept shouting and saying, Man United need to get this guy when he was at Fulham. I was like, I can't believe this guy is playing for Fulham. This guy is playing for Fulham, and he just works. But to be fair, I do rate Ndombele. I do rate him. I think he's a baller. I think, the commentator just said here, definitely.
He's amazing football. He's amazing, Nuruddin. He's amazing, that guy. I couldn't stop watching the guy. I mean, his trickery, the way he moves, is incredible. He reminds you a little bit. There's a little bit of a Kocher in him. I see a little bit of Kocher in the guy. Seriously, he's special. He could be an amazing footballer for Barcelona or something like that. He could be an amazing player. That guy. It's painful watching him play for Spurs. Painful.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to get him out of Spurs unless he downs tools. That'll even get rid of you if he thinks he can't get enough money for you. But for me, he's stuck there. It looks like he's going to be stuck there as well. Anyway, guys, we're coming up to the end of the show. We've got Granada Thursday night. Oh gosh, Thursday night. Honestly, literally, you just said it. So, Irfan, I'm going to come to you. Thursday night. Do you think after this high, I remember under Jose, we slapped some team. I think we beat Man City. Then we played West Brom at home. We got beat 1-0. Is Thursday night in any danger now? Knowing what you saw from Granada in that first game?
Not really, to tell you the truth. But like I said, Rachel said, we have a crazy inconsistent team. It's not. Sometimes the manager gets it wrong. Sometimes the players just don't show up. So, like I said, we're miles away from that City. Every game, you know what's going to happen. They're on the game. We're still hit and miss. So, I do think, having watched Granada, though, I don't think they've got it in them. I just don't think they've got the penetration in the final third. Even if they went for us for 60 minutes, I just don't think they could break us down. But like I said, wait a second, Shaw's out, Maguire's out, and who else is out?
McTominay.
So, we've still got enough in the bank to beat them easily. I'm very confident that we're going to get through that game. Very confident.
It's actually a blessing, actually, that they're out. Let them get a rest for the weekend.
Rashford didn't play. If I see Rashford playing when he's not fit, I'll be so angry as well. This needs to stop with Rashford, because it's actually gotten to the point where he's a detriment to our team. He needs to be
Rachel, have you seen his representatives, so his agents, the company that represent him? They keep coming out saying he's got multiple injuries because they can see that social media fans. The fans obviously were just going off what the comments say. Oh, he's terrible. And they're literally coming out defending their client. And that tells you all you need to know. So it's not even about the club. Rashford's representatives are coming out on social media saying Rashford is carrying injuries. He's playing
like he's carrying an injury, though. Like, I know he could be quite frustrating on the pitch at times. He does really strange things, but you can tell he's playing with an injury. He's not running the way he would before. You know what I mean? He's not doing those kind of things. Like he's making bad decisions at times, but if you look at some of his movement off the ball in previous games, it's a lot better than people give him credit for. And he's not doing that either. So I don't know. He needs to be rested, I think. And I think it was great that he came off the pitch and we actually still played well, because usually when you take off Rashford or you take off Bruno, we tend to fall off. But the fact that we took him off and we saw an improvement is great as well. That's actually a really good sign from us. So just give them the rest and trust our other players to do the job that needs to be done.
Yeah, Mundo, what do you think of Thursday? Obviously, you're not going to be watching it because you're playing 5-a-side.
Yeah. So I think it's just going to be a dull game, isn't it? I could see there being one goal in it maximum. I'm not worried by Granada at all. I just don't think they're a very good team. So we should, even if we put out some players that don't play regularly, we should still have enough to get through that tie. So I think the bigger game is at the weekend.
Burnley, of course.
Yeah.
And you know what? People forget that Burnley is a derby. It's a derby. Those of you who are not from around here in the northwest, Burnley's it's the edge of Manchester. Burnley players in the past 4 seasons or 3 seasons, they've gone 2-0 up. 2-0 up. 2-0 up in every half. 2-0 up in every half. And Man United players and our fan base think it's only Burnley. No.
We struggled against Burnley.
And go and smash them from minute 1 instead of try to come back. And they beat us. And that's where the fans actually, that's the only time when I saw a lot of the fans saying, you know what, Ollie's not the guy.
Yeah.
When I'm coming on, Bruno came in. What do you think of Thursday night, Rachel?
I think it should be an easy win, if I'm honest with you. And I think that we should play a few of the younger players, just give them, or the fringe players, just give them some starts.
I hope Ahmed gets a start.
Yeah, I mean,
and you've got Donny as well. Donny should start.
Yeah,
and Wendy said as well, 2 NZB.
Yeah, definitely. I think I think today. I think
we should give Phil Jones a game.
No,
is he fit? Is he fit to play?
Is he, Rachel? Rachel, what do you think? Listen, have the Martians landed yet? That's like you asking the question: have the Martians landed? Have you met a Martian? It's like that's the kind of question you're asking when you're saying Phil Jones is fit. Of course, Phil Jones is not fit. That man just collects checks. That man's got a dodgy video, innit, of the bankers, the 3 bankers doing some madness. That's why he's up still after a decade.
No, that's a horrible
people don't know. Somebody apparently asked him, "Oh, Phil, it's a testimonial soon." He said, "I don't think I'm gonna have one. I think only my parents and a couple of my friends will come."
You know what? It's really sad though. It is sad. It's so sad.
Fergie sold me a dream, Rachel. You know what Fergie said?
Crazy.
That's what Fergie said. And you know what? I was one of those. I believed everything Fergie said. I believed everything. When Fergie spoke, that God was speaking to me, right? And when he was like, he marked Drogba 1 game, Blackburn against Chelsea. He marked Drogba. Drogba had an injury. I think Drogba was carrying an injury that game. And after that was like, oh my gosh, this new captain of England. This is going to be a brilliant player. Fergie was like, Duncan Edwards. And if those of you in the comments don't know, Duncan Edwards was probably one of the greatest Man United players, right? There's a book about him, if you want out there, called The Greatest. You know, the documentary, you can get it on YouTube, watch him. He was the type of guy that could play in a Busby Bay team. He could play as a centre-half. He could play as a right winger. And sometimes when United were losing, they put him up front and he'll go and score a hat-trick. That's the level of player he was. He was built like like Arnie. Basically, mini version before Arnie hit the steroids, right? Arnie in Austria was training hard in it to become a bodybuilder. Before he hit the steroids, he was quite tough, strong guy, right? Yeah. That's what he was built like. He was built like a brick house. That's what they call it around here, like a brick house. That's what he was built like, and that's what Fergie sold me that dream that Phil Jones was. Not a bloody.
He had a good. I think his first season with us was okay. I don't think it was anything special, but we were like, okay, he was like 18 at the time, wasn't he? Phil Jones was very, very young.
We bought him young. Yeah.
17. Yeah. I'll never forget that. 17. I was like,
you know the absolute kicker was that we had arranged a deal to sign Varane, and Varane declined signing for Man United because we bought Phil Jones. He didn't want to compete with another young centre half, so we could have had Varane. But we ended up with Phil Jones. I mean, that just tells you everything you need to know.
No, I guess Ollie isn't the only manager that makes mistakes, is he?
No.
I feel like he made a few in the transfer market, didn't he?
No, I'm telling you know what?
I'm
telling you, Rachel, if Twitter was about who some of the decisions Fergie would make, like Fergie would put the Raphael twins, the Brazilian twins in midfield at some games and drop Pogba, even though Pogba was the guy that was the upcoming midfield player. Some of the decisions he would make sometimes.
Do you remember the last Premier League we won?
Would have got Fergie out. I'm telling you, if Twitter was what's now, you would have got about Fergie out loads of times. Anyway, guys, it's been absolute pressure. I think my final word on the game on Thursday. I think I would play Dan James. Dan James wasn't even in the squad today. I hope he's all right. I hope he's not injured. Is he injured?
Apparently he is. Yeah.
Well, but I think this game could play into our hands. I expect Dalot to start. Diallo to start. Diallo to start. 100%, because I think we're going to get a lot of spacing behind them. They're going to come out because they've got nothing to lose. They have to come out and go for it. I expect to see Donny in this game. I think Tuan Zabi will play. I think Eric Bailly will have a test either tomorrow or the next day to find out if he's over the corona. I know he was just asymptomatic, and if that comes back clean, then he'll definitely play on Thursday. But it could be Lindelof, Tuan Zabi, Telles. You know what I mean? And I would play Williams. You know what I mean? Or maybe Wan-Bissaka. Maybe you need a bit of experience. You can't just throw all those guys in, especially at the back. De Gea will definitely play in goal. But I think they're going to come up to us. I think what we need to do is just take our chances, because I think we'll get chances, because they have to go for it. They have to, because they can't defend with 2-0 down. You know, they're going to have to try to score some away goals. But I'm still nervous because after the end of the door, it's still Bottle Job FC. Bottle Top FC doesn't go away. The tendencies are still there. Bottle Job tendencies are still there, people. And I'm one of those. I like to be cautious. I'm quite cautious. So I hope the players don't get too gassed about this win. I hope that they settle down, and I hope that they think, let's get through to that semi. Let's have a date with Ajax, because I don't think that game's over, fully over yet. I know Roma are ahead, but I don't think that game's fully over. I think Ajax will have say today, because Roma are not that good at home, me personally. I don't think Roma, in Europe, Roma can be get at. But what would happen. The semi-final will take care of itself. We just need to get there. And Burnley is another game. It's a big derby for Burnley. It's a big derby. And our home record is horrendous. Even when our home record was good, Burnley were beating us, and Burnley were getting a draw. So they'll tell you. Rachel, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on the First 11 YouTube channel. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Devil's Avocado.
Right. Mundo, let them know where they can find you.
On Twitter at Mighty Mundo.
Come on, guys. Give him a follow. You'll be out there. You need to get more active, throwing out tweets, man. Sometimes you think I can rant. This guy can rant more than me. Trust me. I learned it from him, how to bloody rant about football. Anyway, Irfan, tell me where they can find you.
Irfan Rainey on Twitter.
All right. There we go, guys. Listen. Thank you so much. We cannot build this community without you guys. Therapy Army, you know what? I have to go on unblock a couple of people that I accidentally blocked last night. Because last night in here, Rachel, it was a bit of madness. People impersonating Irfan, people impersonating Mundo, people impersonating Saeed. It was all a hell of a madness. Well-behaved crowd in here tonight, and I need to find the mods in this. But thank you so much. Game 3 points. Man United turned up today. Mourinho got sacked the back down. Reguilon is back in somewhere, Sevilla, looking for some shopping, buying some sandals for Greenwood. That's what's happening still there today. He's on that plane right now. That's where he is. The best sandals for Greenwood to go on holiday in this summer. But thank you so much. Team turned up. Brilliant. Let's go. Let's get over this quarterfinals. Let's get through to semi-final, and then hopefully we'll find where we are on Sunday. Hopefully I'll get some of these guys back on to do a kind of preview and maybe round up some of the transfer rumors in midweek, maybe on Tuesday night. We'll do that, do the preview. But peace, love, light, always, people. Peace.